Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Thalassa, is that how I pronounce your name?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Johan, I have a Dutch name, but I'm not Dutch.
Yeah, it's not a Dutch name actually. It's Greek.
Is it?
Yeah, but I'm not Greek. My parents just like the name.
All Dutch people say Johan sounds like a Dutch name.
Yeah.
Like Johan Cruyff.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. So okay, I was looking at checking out your page. You seem to have a very interesting profile. Very international. You've been obviously traveling a lot, and the things you do are quite interesting. So I wanted to get to know you a little bit first personally, and then maybe chat a bit about the things that you're doing in Barcelona.
Absolutely.
So would you mind telling me a little bit about who you are and what brought you to the city?
Yeah, absolutely. So about 5 years ago, I came to Barcelona a lot, and I fell in love with the city. And ever since, that's about 6 years already, 6 years ago. And ever since, I decided that one day I'm going to move to Barcelona. Life got in the way, as it does, but about 2.5 years ago, I had enough, and I really, really wanted to move. So that's when I left my job at a communications agency, and I decided to start freelancing. And I started a Facebook group called Girls in Barcelona.
Okay.
And I figured, if I would meet maybe 3 or 4 girls that become my girlfriends, we can just go out, have drinks, do girly things. Mm-hmm. That would be great. But by now, it's a group of 700 people, or 700 girls.
All right.
So we do these meetups, and I found some really, really cool girls in there. We go wine tasting. We went karaoke last week. We always go to the Palo Alto market.
Okay.
And then besides
this group you started years ago?
No. I started this group November 1st.
Oh, when you moved here?
Yeah.
And it's just grown and grown.
Yeah.
Well, this shows that you're actually maybe good at one of the things that you're mentioning in your blog, which is getting clients and marketing yourself.
Maybe, I mean,
although it's not a business, you kind of have a natural thing for it, maybe.
Maybe, I mean, I think that when I'm doing something that I really like, then it comes quite natural to me to get other people excited about that as well. And beyond that, I think. There's so many international people here in Barcelona, but they all run into the problem of that. It can get a bit lonely.
Yeah.
And that group is, filling that, but just as well as OneCoWork does. Because I have friends from that group, but all my other friends I found here at OneCoWork.
But does it have anything else beyond the social aspect, or do you just plan on keeping that Facebook group for social purposes, or are you linking it to business also? No,
so it really was intended as just for social purposes, and I think I want to keep it that way. But I mean, people have been telling me you should try to monetize it because it's such a big group and it's growing, and but I'm not really sure if I want to do that. Maybe one day. But, yeah.
So changing a bit the subject to the more professional things. Obviously, I've read your profile. You have very interesting marketing background. Is that correct? You've been working in an agency for quite some years. How did you make that shift from working for an agency to starting your own activity? And what were some of the reasons that pushed you to go that way? That.
Right. So actually, I didn't. The agency that I worked for in my last job, I actually didn't work there for that long, because I really didn't like it there. So I actually left that after 6 months.
Was that in Amsterdam, or?
It was close to Amsterdam, yes,
okay.
In the Netherlands. And but the change.
What were you doing there?
It was actually what I was doing was actually really cool because it's a communications agency, but very small, and the main client was Yamaha, the motorbike company. And I'm absolutely crazy about motorbikes. And I was working with, for whoever knows, with the Yamaha Movistar team. So with the team of Valentino Rossi and going to the MotoGPs.
That's cool.
And that was really cool. It was just the people from Yamaha were absolutely amazing, but the people from the agency, we just
Okay.
It just wasn't a good fit. So
I'm sure you learned a lot from it, though.
Oh yeah, that's true. Absolutely. And I mean, I'm still very, very glad that I had that experience. But I knew if I was gonna stay there a lot longer, I wouldn't be happy. So I just decided.
You decided to go your own way and start your own business.
Yeah, the thing was, I did apply for a couple of like normal 9-to-5 jobs, but the thing is, I've always been quite lucky with the jobs that I've had, even from when I was a teenager and had like Saturday jobs. I always had like kind of different jobs and jobs that really suited me and were really like in my line of interest. Lots of jobs with motorbikes. And now I was applying for these 9-to-5 jobs in offices that I really didn't care for, and I guess
it was not a good fit to your personality, probably.
I guess it reflected in my application letters because I didn't get one interview.
You just didn't have maybe the passion to put behind it.
I guess so. Not the passion to stand out from the other application letters. I think I sent out maybe 10 or 15 letters, and then I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna go freelance. Yeah.
And then you had to choose a city. Why didn't you stay in the Netherlands? What brought you to Barcelona? What was it about this city that you found interesting?
Right. So whenever people ask me that question, the short answer is the weather, the wine, the food, and the men.
Okay. The men last.
In whatever order. Yeah. No, just kidding, of course. But the thing is, ever since I was a little girl, I was always saying that one day I'm going to move abroad. And then, about 6 years ago, I actually had a boyfriend here in Barcelona, a local. And so via him, I really got to know the city, not as a tourist, but, I got to know the local spots. And I just fell in love with the city. I just felt at home straight away. Most of all, the vibe, people seem to enjoy life here more, They're not as negative as they are in the Netherlands. And they're outside, they drink wine on a random Tuesday just because they can,
They seem to have a small vacation every day, right? Enjoy life
every day. Yeah,
instead of
exactly.
I'm from Norway, and I'm also used to us waiting for those 3-4 weeks when you just live life, and then for the rest of the year you just wait for those other 3-4 weeks. And instead here every day is a little wine, a little tapas, a little joy.
Exactly.
So I agree with you on that.
Exactly. And then I just felt at home in Spain.
Yeah.
And then I chose Barcelona because I knew it better than the rest, and also because I figured, I'm gonna move here alone. And to move somewhere alone without speaking any Spanish, Barcelona was probably gonna be the easiest to settle.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's been the best decision I've made.
You've been here since when, you said?
Mid-October.
October.
Yeah.
And did you know exactly where you wanted to start here, when you wanted to have your base, for example, this OneCoWork, or were you just looking for other options, or how did you come in touch with this environment here?
Right. So I was here last summer as well for a couple of days, and I was looking for a couple of co-working spaces, actually just for a day pass back then, because it was before I decided to move here. So I just asked for some recommendations, and I went to 1 or 2 other places and here, and I mean, I fell in love with this place, right? I mean, like in the harbor, right next to the beach. It's like, it is just, it
speaks for itself.
If exactly, like all the other spaces are like here, and some are nicer, some are really nice, but then OneCoWork is like up there.
Yeah.
So
how did you get in touch with this place?
Someone recommended it to me online. Like, check out this place. It has like like a super nice terrace, good location. So I figured, okay, I'll check it out. So I had my day pass, and then when I came here in October, I had a few more day passes. Then I had a 1 day a week membership, and now I'm a full-time member.
All right.
Yeah.
You don't regret it from day one.
It's the only thing I regret is that I didn't get the full membership sooner.
Sooner.
Yeah.
All right.
It was I love it here, the people and the vibe, and the thing was, just because of the location, I was a bit afraid that people would be maybe a bit pretentious. I mean, you're in between all these super yachts.
High end and
exactly, that's what I was a little bit afraid of. But right from the beginning, I realized that is absolutely not the case. And everyone has been so welcoming, so friendly, so sincerely interested in each other. sincerity, trying to help each other, whether it's on personal things or professional things. And what I really like here, everyone seems to be really ambitious, but not in a snobby way, you know. It's like they also share their challenges and their insecurities, and I don't know, it's such a great community.
So you've probably seen other places in the city also, like you've compared other co-workings. What would you say this co-working has compared to all the other ones, except to the great view and location? What do you think are some of the really important?
I mean, it's a bit difficult to say that, because at the other place I only had like a 1-day pass, and what can you really know in a 1-day pass? But what I did see is that the other places where I went, like during lunch, you know, I would, and I'm kind of shy when I have to approach new people without like a very specific reason. So I would be like, hi, can I join this table for lunch? And they were friendly. They were like, yeah, sure. But then they sort of would go about their own conversation, and I was just sitting there. While here, every new person that sits down gets like, you know, almost interviewed. Like, where are you from? What do you do?
Why are you sitting alone here?
Yeah, exactly. And but it's nice, you know. It makes it that you feel very welcome. Yeah, absolutely. And so within a few days, I had like my own little. We were actually sitting over there in the beginning, and we had our own people. You know, we were sitting in the same places every day, and it's been.
So, what kind of people would you say make up this place? I mean, does everybody have the same profile as you, or how? What would you say in terms of?
I mean, it's quite diverse in this sense that, you know, the types of jobs that people do, you know, not everyone is freelancer. Some people are, you know, actual entrepreneurs, have their own business. Others are just remote employees. So in that sense, it's quite diverse. Also, the expertises are quite diverse, which I think is very interesting, because if everyone is just doing the same thing, first of all, you get like a lot of competition, which is not a bad thing, but because it's so diverse, what happens here is that it's very easy to refer clients to each other, because they're not your competition. So you can just, you know, you can.
That must be a great benefit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Being 300-400 people, everybody's doing something different, getting to mix each other's competence and client base.
Exactly. So that is great, but I do think that a lot of people here share the values of, like I said, like always trying to help each other and help each other out, and share your knowledge. You know, everyone is very social. Like, of course, some people are more outgoing than others, which is normal, but everyone is social. Everyone is friendly. And like I said, what I like is that everyone is ambitious, you know. Everyone is.
They have drive.
You know, and it makes that on the days that, you know, everyone has their off days, but on off days, you know, I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. And then I see people around me, like, you know, working hard and, you know, making progress, and that's inspiring.
And professionally, in terms of your, you do social media management and content management. And you also have a business on the side, freelance business, where you teach people how to be their own, start their own businesses, right?
Yeah, to also start working as a remote freelancer.
How has those activities been compatible with OneCoWork? How has OneCoWork helped you, in a way, shape and promote those businesses of yours?
Well, within the community, it's, you know, like I said, I refer my clients to others are referring clients to me, and the same about the course that I have to start freelancing. The word is going around members. But in terms of the co-working space helping me, for example, I think all the new members, and so also for me, they get a little section in the newsletter.
Oh, that's great.
And because of that, someone else actually contacted me for freelance work, so that was really great. They now organize, well, they do a lot of like network events or network related events. So the one that I'm joining now is something they started recently, the roundtable talks. And so it's like a very small group, I think like maybe 10 people or so who can sign up to it for a very specific topic. And it's kind of like a workshop, presentation, discussion kind of session. So I'll be doing that about how to start freelancing.
Oh, so everybody chooses their own topic?
Yeah, so they, I think the co-working space to start with, has approached a couple of people, and they approached me as well. I'm sure once this, after a couple of sessions, people can go up and say like, hey, I want to do that too. But yeah, so they approached me and asked me if I wanted to do this about, tips about freelancing. And they organized that, which is of course a great way for me to, first of all, just share my knowledge, but also, to mention my course, of course.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, what would you say? If somebody else would, listen to this and is thinking, I don't think they're in doubt of whether to choose Barcelona or another city, but once they've chosen Barcelona and they're looking for places where they could, work, co-working places, etc. What advice would you give them, and why? Obviously, you've mentioned why you like OneCoWork, but what would you tell somebody exploring, and what advice would you give them in terms of doing the research and so on?
I mean, to be honest, I would say, like, to start with, take a couple of day passes here and there, or take like a tour, not just here, also in other co-working spaces. First of all, because I think if you see a couple of places, you'll just appreciate this one even more. But I mean, you need to feel like you're a good fit. I mean, this is where you're gonna spend maybe 5, maybe even more days per week, and this is the community. These people are gonna be your friends, so you need to feel comfortable there. So just have a look and check out some places, and pick your favorite.
Yeah. And last, where can people find you if they want to know more about you, your blog,
right?
Things like that?
Probably the easiest place to go to is www.thalassavanbeek.com. I hope it will be in the description down here.
I'll probably make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. And from there you can find links to my social media work, to my freelance Kickstarter course, and to all the other things.
That's exciting, by the way. The freelance course. That's exciting. I'd like to also know more about that for myself. So maybe we'll chat afterwards.
Absolutely.
Well, that's good. It was nice chatting with you. I think we got enough content. So
Perfect. Thank you so much.